Welcome to the SHAC. It's Friday evening, 7 o'clock here in the UK, and my name's Barbara Gray from Clarity. We're here to hang out for an hour or so together. So I'm hoping that there are a few of you to keep me company. I'm on my own this evening. Paul's having a well-deserved evening off. So I just appreciate it if somebody could let me know that the sound is okay, and then come on in and grab a chair. The heating's on. Bring your tea with you. I hope that you've already had your supper, and then we'll get started. We're actually drawing beach huts today. So contrary to popular belief, the sun is pouring in. We can dip our toes in the water. Good evening. Come on in. Greetings, Jenny. Hey, Ken. Good to have your company. And yeah, so we're going to pretend that it's not cold and freezing, and we're going to doodle a beach hut or two. So what was your day like? While we're waiting for our other friends to come on in, tell me, what did you get up to today? Well, I went to thank you for asking. I went to the dentist this morning. So my face is a little bit painful, but that's okay. It will work. And yeah, sound is good. Thank you very much. That's all I need to hear, Claire. Good job. Yeah, so I went to the dentist this morning. Cost a fortune, but that's that for a day. I won't have to go back now for a few months. Hallelujah. Yes, I'm glad that's over with. And then this afternoon, I hung out in here and got caught up with the new layer, the lovely tea infusion papers. Yeah, I just got caught up in those really, and was trying them out and cutting them out and colouring on them and just putting them through their paces. They're pretty spectacular, even if I say so myself. So other than that, I thought we could just crack on. This year, as you know, it's the year of the alphabet at Clarity, and so we started doodling an alphabet. We're on B for beach hut. Yeah, and that's why we're on beach hut. I was thinking B for butterfly, but we did loads of butterflies last year. I did get caught up in colouring in a butterfly though. And yeah, I actually enjoyed today. So just thinking about hanging out with you and what we're going to do, what we're going to talk about, and just trying to keep this room warm. It is cold, isn't it? I don't know what the weather's like where you are. It's a little less intense today than yesterday. Yesterday was freezing. We went to this concert last night, which is why we couldn't have the SHAC last night, because David got tickets for us to go to a gig in Tunbridge Wells, only down the road, at a place called The Forum, which is a real kind of indie music, real nice place near the Pantiles in the old part of town. Bloody freezing. Honestly, nobody put the radiators on. I togged up and Dave was laughing at me because I was wearing like 2 pairs of socks and a fur coat and a jumper and a hood and, 2 jumpers, in fact, because I just had this feeling, and sure enough, they hadn't put the radiators on inside the Forum. I think it was warmer outside than it was inside. It was like a fridge. How that poor woman kept on playing the guitar. Her nose was dripping like a tap. Her name, if you want to look her up, her name is Jessica Hoop, Jesca Hoop, as in hula hoop. Absolutely fabulous. American woman, lives in Manchester. Good choice. She's been there for about 16 or 17 years. Just such a clever, so talented. It's quite astounding. Yeah, but there she was in this little tiny place called The Forum. You got to support these people, If she can get all the way from Manchester down to Tunbridge Wells and play the guitar in sub-zero temperatures in the building, the least we can do is rock up when we live 10 minutes away, eh? Yeah, so that's what we did. Anywho, shall we have a look? Have you got your tea? Then we'll get started. Shall we have a look? I'm imagining that it'll be quite quiet this evening because a lot of people were probably looking for us last night. But do you know what we say? The important people are in the building. Actually, before we start, speaking of important people, Pat Hoskins. Oh, Pat Hosking, darling friend, hasn't been well at all. Spoke to her daughter Anne today. She's doing okay. She sends her love, you know, and I was thinking it would be really great if we all just send our best energy and best love. If you wanted to send a get well soon card to Pat, you could send it to me, attention of Barbara Gray, if you wanted to, because Pat's really one of the team here. She's one of the crew, you know. She's a bit under the weather at the moment, her daughter says. So I think if we were able to send her a load of lovely cards, all arty cards, doesn't matter if it's stamped, if it's groovy, if it's die cut, just send some love and good energy to Pat. Send it care of Barbara at Clarity Stamp, and then we'll make sure that those cards get turned straight round and directed towards our friend Pat Hosking. Okay, so yeah, do that, would you? I know it will do her the power of good. Right, now let's have a look. Where were we? We were looking at B for Beach Hut, and I'll show you where we were. Do you remember we drew this little fella? And I got so caught up. We drew the B's, didn't we? Hang on, we got the A's with the apples, and now we've got the B's with the beach huts. Just bear with me a second, because I got a little bit carried away with all my bits of paper. Let me just put that one over there. If I put a piece of white underneath it, then you'll be able to see better what we're up to. So those are the two beach huts that we were working towards. And on Monday, we did this one, didn't we? Yeah, we did. So we did that one on Monday. I thought tonight we could do a bit of bouncing back and forth. So if you're up for it, we'll try the second beach hut with the angular, you know, rather than straight. And then, but we'll also transfer the first one. And I thought we could add a little bit of colour. So, so a little bit of drawing, a little bit of colouring this evening, if you fancy that. I mean, what else are you going to do on a Friday night when it's freezing outside? I think this is the right place to be honest. So let's have a look. We've got our B for beach hut, beach ball, basketball. We've got our, I transferred it, look. I want to show you something. This is really interesting, okay? Because I actually did a bit of colouring in just to get ahead of the game, right? So I transferred it onto, this is watercolour paper. This isn't finished, it's just, but check this out. Doesn't that look bigger than that? Eh? Yeah, I'll show you. Hang on, come in a bit closer, right? So this is just a watercolour. You know, from our, we've got those packs, haven't we? Those, hang on, I'll show you. We've got these watercolour pads, haven't we? Like that, see? Clarity Stamp, the bridge to art, right? So I dragged one of these out of here. This is my little tester. So I pulled one of these out, and then I thought, right, we'll give that a go. Bit of watercolour. Now, though, this is interesting. Look at that one. Look at that one. You think, well, this is bigger, isn't it? It looks bigger. Well, it's not. It's exactly the same one. It's the same transfer. See, so this one here, look, there it is. Same little fella, right? In fact, it's this one. I use this one. So that's that one. See, transferred. And then flip it over. Transferred again. Look. And while I was getting in the groove, right, do you want to see this? This is so cool. I thought we could give this a go as well. How pretty is that? Now, doesn't that look delightful? Hey? I know. I was really chuffed with that. And that, my friends, look, is a piece of this lovely, you know, that collage paper that we're talking about. that is just, again, I just took the same thing, transferred it on there, pencil, got my pencil marks, and then I used some pergoliners on that. So I thought we could have a little go at that as well, because it's really easy. Which paper is this? This is from Chamomile, okay? It's from Chamomile. Look, I tell you what I did do, because I keep going back to these books. So I thought, right, I need a bit of order in the building. So I've got my Chamomile. And then what I did, 'cause it's good for you, I put them in the packet, in this folder. So now I can see exactly which one I want to use. These are so lovely for drawing on. There's the one I used. There's that one. See? Yeah, that's that one. Cool, isn't it? So versatile. So I've got chamomile. There's chamomile. Okay, I'm going to show you how many different colours there are. Then at the other end of this one, I've got the hibiscus. Shall I show you that one? Look at that. I blooming love these because they're so grungy. They are so nice to use. Look, grungy. Like that one. Love it. Really nice for cutting out that one. This is my favourite. Look, with a little bit of leafery in there. I think I like the colour combination in that one best. Yep. Great for layering. Right, so that's the hibiscus. That's the chamomile. Right, peppermint. If we're going to do this, let's do it properly. Right, this is peppermint. See, so I stuck the packet on this side. Okay. And then I put them on. Then I just put them in. And what's good is, look, see, because you cut bits out and you use bits, you can put the papers in there because they're so lovely and thin. The thin part for me is a real advantage. See, this one I did today, I got carried away. See, so I took that and I layered up. But because it's so classy, let me show you so I took one of our dies, but you could see it's almost like it's one layer. It's just very tasteful. Okay, so I'm really, really pleased with the way these came out. See, I've used this one for the front for cutting out, and then I used one of the other ones. I wonder which one I used. One of these I know which one it is. When I see it, I'll know. That one. That was the one for the background. That's the one I used in the background. Isn't it lovely? Because they're tone in tone. This is a Jim and Barbie collaboration. And then at the other end is the Darjeeling. Isn't that lovely what Jim did? I love this cover. And the Darjeeling one, this is the browns and golds. I think we had a look at this the last time I was on. Look, isn't that nice? In fact, that one there would look amazing layered up with that one. Wouldn't that look great? I've got to show you a couple of tricks with this though. This is really, really cool for a lot of different levels. So the Darjeeling, let me just show you. There's that one. Actually, I've got another bit of artwork here because I'm getting ready to go on telly with these. So I did a bit of artwork. I know I digress. I know we're supposed to be doing beach huts, but that's okay. Look, see, this is this one. Nice, huh? Sploshy tea bag. Wait till you see. You will not be able to tell the difference between this and a real tea bag. I did a little experiment. So that one there you go. That's this one. See? Oh, I know. Yeah, the thinness of these papers, the texture, the stampability, the cutability. I love that one. I remember when I did that. This is all done with tea and crackle, and it's good. See, but the great thing is that you can put the bits that you cut out, you just put them in the back, so you're not wasting anything. So there you go, Darjeeling peppermint. There you go. Nice, huh? Right, let me just put that back in because that's going on telly next week. Okay. Right, I've shown them off. Shown you where they've come from. And what we're going to do now, if you're up for this, Okay. What we'll do is we'll bounce around a little bit. I'll just put that over there because I do want to show you a couple of tricks with those. But I think what would be really great is this. We're going to take the first hut. Let me tell you the plan, right, my friends? What we're going to do is we're going to use this first hut and we're going to transfer it onto a piece of watercolour paper if you have some handy. Doesn't matter. If you haven't got a watercolour paper, we'll use a different paper. But we're going to try a trick, right? So I'm going to transfer it onto a piece of watercolour paper. And then what we'll do is, because with watercolour, you need to kind of let the layers dry. So I thought, right, we'll transfer the first beach hut onto watercolour paper and we'll apply the first layer of watercolour. And while that's drying, right, we'll go back to the other beach hut and we'll do the angular beach hut. How do you fancy that? And then we could go back and add a bit more colour we could do the second generation, get a bit of depth going. Okay. All right. So you got this one and you've got a piece of watercolour paper. That's what we need to start with. So you don't need much, but I mean, I could use the same piece here so that we can actually see what I'm doing here at the same time, right? So whichever side you want to use, it depends. So you could make a whole row of them, couldn't you? So if I put that one there, you just got to make sure that you've got some graphite on one of the side that you're transferring to. Yeah. So let's just put that there like so. I mean, this is just for play, but I wouldn't mind if I'm going to do this, right? It would be quite good if I did this and then I was able to actually make a card with it. Imagine that. Right. That's the thing, isn't it? I'm always drawing stuff, but I don't actually make any cards. Okay. So I'll pop that there. Right. Let's just keep it in so it stays in the right place and I can see what I'm doing. Right. Now we're going to transfer. Let's put that one up there. We need a pencil now to transfer. What have I got here? 3B. That's quite black. I think I'm going to go with 2B's too. See if I can find that F for fine. Have a look. There it is. F for fine. That works well. Okay. How is everybody? I drew my basic on copy paper, then traced it on tracing paper. Yeah. The thing about having these templates, right? Just that one picture there, and I've done that one, I've transferred it onto another piece, I've done that one, I've done that one. It's like ad infinitum. You just keep flipping it back and forth and back and forth, and you can use this template. And you know what? It's the ability to replicate, to do the same thing over and over again. It's like stamping, isn't it? It's like stamping. Let's have a look. Graphite, that'll do. Okay. So I'm just going to sharpen the pencil so we get an outline. Let's have a look. That'll hold in place. Right, let's see if we've got some graphite on there. I'll just pop this in there like so. Let me just check. Oh yeah, there it is. See? So we're just going to transfer the image. Oh, hello. Just transfer the image. I think that what I like as well about beach huts, apart from the fact that they give me a sense of summer and warmth and joy, I think what I also like about beach huts is they're really easy to draw. They're really easy, you know. So if your head's all over the place, like mine is at the moment, like proper washing machine head, yeah, this kind of thing is great because it gives you an opportunity to draw something really attractive, very simply, without applying too much brain power, you know. Yeah, look, it's working really well. So I'm just... Yeah, I don't know what's wrong at the moment. This has been going on for weeks. Since the anniversary of my dad's death, I think it threw me through a loop for some reason. Well, for some reason, what am I saying? It's obvious, I just said why. But this too shall pass. This too shall pass. It's just the way it is at the moment. You've got to go with it. You know, we talked about that earlier on in, I don't know if it was at the end of last year or at the beginning of this year. And it's that acceptance of the situation, you know, go with it. Don't try and fight it. There comes a point where you just have to say, well, it is what it is, you know. So, and then it will pass. But all the time you resist it and fight the emotion and try to pretend that it's okay and everything's fine and stiff upper lip and all that English jazz, you know. It's not that easy, is it? It's not that easy, friends. Now, let's have a look. Where are we? Yeah, I reckon we're doing all right here. And now I just want to turn it this way a little bit. So I wouldn't mind putting the stripes in, the planks. Let's have a look. Oh, hello. There we go. See if it's got any. Yeah, wonderful. Once we transfer this, I'm not even going to use black ink on it. I'm not going to use our, you know, normally we would do this and then we'd ink it, wouldn't we? But I'm thinking, oh, hang on, I haven't got my door in yet. I'm thinking I want to show you a trick where we just use the pencil work. Looks really nice. Looks good and it's something different. All right. So let's have a look. Hey. This will work well. So we've got about 101 people in the Facebook room, and I'm sure there'll be a few on YouTube as well. So welcome. Friday night. It's a good way to spend a Friday night, isn't it? I think so. Drawing a beach hut. What else are you going to do? There we are. Excellent. And then we've got a couple of lines going this way as well. There we are. Good. And then when we've done that, that's looking pretty good, you know, friends. And so now I've done that side, you know, it's like perpetual. And I could do that side, then I could go back that way, then I could go back that way. And after a while, it will start to look a little bit tired. At that point, let me give you a top tip. Get a clean piece of tracing. This is if it's your template. Get a clean piece of tracing paper, right? Separate it from the block so you don't push through. And then transfer your art to a clean piece of tracing paper. And then off you go again. Okay? But I could keep going until this is disintegrating. There'll come a point where it's done. And you'll know when. So I'll pop that up there for a minute. And then we'll have a look. So what I wanted to do was show you, let's take that away from there. Right, I wanted to show you how to do some colouring in, right? So we've got this, and then we'll draw the other one. Let's have a sip of my tea. My tea always goes cold, and then it's good for your complexion, apparently. So let's have a look. Now, how am I going to colour this in. We got loads of options, haven't we? We could use our pergaliner B pencils and colour it in. But I want to get that kind of, since it's a beach hut and it's all about water, I want to get a bit of that kind of wishy-washy look. This look. Yeah, this isn't finished, by the way. There's a couple more generations of ink to go on there. But I thought it'd be really good to get down a layer. I'll show you what I'm going to use to do this. Simple, right? I'm going to use, because I want to use the A pencils in the pergaliners. Usually we always go to the B pencils, the blending pencils. This time I want to use the aqua pencils. There's 20 of them here, plus a water brush or two. So I've got my water brushes, right? And if Jane Telford or one of the ladies is in the building with me, perhaps you could just put the link up for us if anybody wants the pergaliners or the water brushes. Be ideal. I think there's even a set with a mix mat and the brushes together. It's really useful. Let me show you how they work. So we're going to take we've got our watercolor, we've got our mix mat. When you get these, there's an oil one, and they're the same. Don't get me wrong. There's not like, oh, it's a special one for the oil. They're exactly the same. But if you listen, they've got purchase. They've got like a bit of tread. Okay. And the thing about that is what I want to do is use like 4 colors, let's say. And this is like, it doubles up as a blending mat. So I'm going to go with, let's have a look. These are the A pencils, see, aqua. So I'm going to go with a yellow and a blue and the bright green. It's a really good green. Make sure that it's always the black writing, because if it's the white writing, see, often you've got the same colours like that, right? But if it's white writing, it's oil based. It won't dilute. It's not water soluble. And then I'll go with that dark green as well. Okay. And then I'll put them on my mix mat. So, and you'll see, like, I'll start with the lightest colour at the top, and I'll put the light colour down. That's the yellow. Then I'll put down the next one. I'm going to put the green down. See this? Oh, bloody hell. Press too hard. That's okay. That's what happens. You press too hard. I'm not going to waste it though. I'm going to use that pigment. There you go. Then I'll use my blue one. I was talking to Dean Wilson this afternoon. He gave me a ring. He's doing much better. He had a really bad accident. Anyway, he said, I said, how'd you fancy coming down and joining in the SHAC one day? He said, I'd love that, because he's not working at the moment. He's got time. So I said, why don't you come down? Special guest. I said that our friends would love it. And he said, I'd love it. I'd love it too. Then he said, am I allowed to swear in the SHAC? I said, no, you're not. No, we don't swear in the SHAC. We put a filter in, Dean. He said, right, okay. He said, we put the TV filter in. I said, we do. We put the TV filter in. So that's going to be something to look forward to. It'll probably be at the end of February by the time we get a date that works for both of us. And also, he's got to be fit to drive. And his legs, remember, he broke his legs. So he's really looking forward to it. And I think it's going to be great. He's a really good friend of Dave's and mine. And it would just be lovely to spend a day with him. He's going to come down for the whole day. He's going to come and see all the, he wants to see what we do at Clarity, because we've never had time before. So we're going to give him a grand tour. And then I said, well, if you come on a Thursday, you could join in the SHAC. He said, absolutely brilliant. And I won't swear. I said, that's cool. So that'll be fun. Right, so we got these 4 colours. Be really good to see them. And then we're going to put down, right, let's have a look. We're going to put down the lightest colour first. So these are great. So we just squeeze a bit of water there, right? And then we move it across and we're going to get a wash. Do you see how it's great? and I've got a bit of paper underneath so I can check. I just want to get a really light wash, okay? So you can see why, if I just put the yellow there like that, right, yellow first, and what you'll see is, as we lay this colour down over the one that we just, see, because it's very watery, it's just, but it's great because it doesn't move the pencils, right, but it gives us a really good, there you go. So you get a really good dose of water, and if you want to squeeze again, there you go, and just bring this down. And if you want it, if it's a bit too insipid, then just, here we go. It's literally like a wash. It just lays down a layer, and it means that the colours that come in over the top of that, it's like they call it a glaze in watercolour speak. I mean, don't get me wrong, come on. I'm no expert to this game, okay? I'm no expert. There are no experts in this building. I don't have a degree in art. Do you have a degree in art? Has anybody in the building got a degree in art? Not I. I've got O-level art and I only got a B then. And how many of you have I heard say, oh, my teacher said I was rubbish at art. My teacher said I was rubbish at art. So really, let me talk to that teacher. What kind of a teacher tells a kid they're rubbish at art? Hey? Honestly, God give me strength. Anyway, so there are no experts in the building. I only know that this works because I've tried it. Okay, I didn't read the rule book, and actually I'm going to put a bit of yellow in there as well in the legs. And yeah, I certainly didn't write the rule book or read it, and I think that rules all too often can be quite limiting, because then you think, well, that's the rules, that's the only way to do it, there's no other way, and so there, that looks good. So that's the only way, and there's no other way, and I will not deviate from my purpose, and so you never experiment, and it's not creative. All you're doing is regurgitating somebody else's discovery. I mean, yeah, there are processes, right? So with watercolor, what I have figured out, let me explain something very, very basic, right? If now I wanted to put blue around the edge, if I don't wait for that to dry, then I can tell you now, hand on heart, because I know, right? If that yellow's not dry and I want to go around the outside with blue and make a blue frame or a blue door, I can promise you that the blue will bleed into the yellow, okay? So you've got to let that dry before you do the next colour. That's just the way it is. And that's why I thought it'd be really good, see? So you put your lid on there, and then you put the colour, your little palette, to one side, because that's the other thing with watercolour. See, now we've got that. I can leave that there for a year if I, felt inclined. And then as soon as you add water to it, you reactivate it again. So I'll put that over to the side. See? So all I'm going to do now, I'll just move them over a bit. I'll stick that on there like that with my brush. See? That's on there with my brushes. And when my yellow layer is dry, then I'll go in with another layer over the top. Then I can go in with my teal or my green or whatever. And I know you think, well, couldn't I take my green pencil? Well, no, because Barbara broke her green pencil, didn't she? That's all right. I'm not wasting that. In it goes. Go on, in you go. You'll think, couldn't I take my green pencil and then add the pigment and then add the water that way? Well, you could, but it doesn't spread very well. It's not ideal. Then you say to me, well, couldn't I take my brush and go like that? You'd get a very, very dark, very vibrant pigment for sure. But over time, what will happen is the water, it makes this crumble and disintegrate. It's not good for the pencils. Okay. Okay, so there you go. And how does she know these things? Well, how do you think she knows these things? Well, actually, I know all that because I used to do work with Faber-Castell many, many, many different lives ago when I lived in Nuremberg. But that's a whole other story. Anyway, so we're going to put this to one side, and then I thought it would be really cool to draw another beach hut. How do you fancy that? So we did say we'd draw two, didn't we? We've drawn that one. Do you fancy drawing that one? It's a bit different. Bliss. So that's the only thing is, of course, when you're... So this one's a little bit more... It's not so straight. That one's easy, straight. This one's a little bit more angular. And what I was trying to do was make the steps a bit different. But should we give it a go? Come on. We will. I just need another piece of... I need another piece of tracing paper. Are you going to join in? Come on, what else are you going to do on a Friday night? Is there something fascinating on telly? I'm so fed up with the telly. Honestly. Speaking of good TV, tomorrow on Create and Craft, Deborah Wheeler is making her debut. Yes, she is. So she will be on. She's showcasing some superb stamps that our Jazz designed. And she's on at 1 o'clock and at 4 o'clock tomorrow. So she nearly gave me a heart attack a couple of nights ago. So Paul's on telly a couple of nights ago, doing really well with the Groovy ODS. And ODS stands for One Day Special. So it's a lot of effort, a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of money, a lot of investment in an ODS. Anyway, he is having a great show. I get an email. So no sooner am I, way, well done, Paul, right? Go, Paul, go, Paul. Then I get an email from Deborah saying, I've been sick for 2 days. Every time I lift my head off the pillow, oh, don't do this to me. She said, every time I lift my head off the pillow, I get dizzy. So I'm really worried that I won't be ready for Saturday. And I was like, oh, okay. I understand. You know, there's this bug going around. People are getting ill. And I thought, so I texted her and said, just chill. Don't worry. We'll come up with a plan. I'll ring you tomorrow, which is what I did. So we had a plan B. And then overnight, she felt so much better. She said, can we go back to plan A? Can I please do the TV? I said, you sure can. You sure can. So we're back on track. She's lost a few pounds. Yay. She's on at 1 o'clock tomorrow. So please go and cheer because it's her first time on television ever. And is she apprehensive? Oh, you could bet your bottom dollar she's apprehensive. Okay. Nobody ever forgets their first time. No, they don't. Jane Telford, are you in the building? Jane was on telly for the first time a couple of weeks ago. She did great. Or was it even last week? Absolutely marvellous. Anyway. Oh, that reminds me. My phone is switched to... Yeah, no. I just realised that my phone could have rung at any minute there. Okay, so so tomorrow, date for the diary, 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock, Deborah Wheeler. Please give her a hand. And we're gonna draw this little fella. So the first thing we want to do is get a clean piece. I'll pan out a little tiny bit because it's difficult to get your bearings, isn't it? So do you want to know how tall? I'm going to go in with my fine pencil. I like my fine one for drawing. Let me just sharpen it again. Ah, graphite. Let me just sharpen it. Slowly does it. Okay, there we are. Jane Telford, bless her heart, she's helping out in the room tonight. Thanks, Jane. She just texted me. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll measure this so you know how tall this is. So it's 8 centimeters, like 8 or 9 centimeters. Okay, let's do 8 or 9 centimeters. Oh, let's go in the middle. 8 or 9. Let's go 9, and that's to the absolute tip. So I'll put a little one in there as well. Right, and then I'll come along here, move my book, and I'm going to make a couple of lines. So there we go. 1, 9, and 8. 8 being where I'm going to head to. Okay, let me just put my lines in, and then we can start. There you go. 8, 9. That'll do. So there, that's where I'm at. That's the top of the hut. Okay. And that's where the stairs end as well. There. So let's have a look. I'm going to put the hut hat in. The hut hat, like that. That'll do. Okay. Put the hut hat in to start with, like that. See? And then we'll put the hut hat in, and then I think actually I might go above that, like that. Right. And this is where we just sketch, don't we? And it's like a kind of air drawing, if you like, just lightly. You don't have to press too hard because we're not sure what we're doing yet. And then we're going to get the shape in. So I reckon this is a bit fatter, this one. Let's go to there. Where's the base going to be? Well, I reckon if it's a bit bigger than... Do you know what? I've just had a thought. Beach hut, right? This would be really cool as a birdhouse as well. Look, wouldn't it? You could modify this to make a little birdhouse. As I'm doing this, I'm thinking, cool, yeah, look. So you could do a birdhouse or a little weather house. Did you ever have those where the man or the woman comes out, depending on whether it's rainy? I know my German grandmother had one like that. It was a little house, and it sat on the kitchen window ledge. And right, let me just get these legs in. Let me just see what I'm doing here. Okay, so the legs are going to be to there. Yeah, I'm about right. So that's where the legs are. That's where the hut is, like that. Legs to there, and then the steps come to here. Right, step like that. Okay, yeah. You've got banister to there. I mean, there's going to be a lot of rubbing out here. I can tell you that. It's going to be a bit of rubbing out. I'm trying not to copy it. I'm just trying to get the basic. If you look at it like this, halfway down's the railings, right? So there's the railings, halfway, and that's going to be where you put what you hold on to before you go in, right? Then the base is going to be about here. See where I wasn't sure what I was doing, so I just got all dark. That's all right. So what's the worst that can happen? It's a bit of tracing paper and a pencil, people. Don't get hung up on this. Right, so now we've got little legs like that. Yeah, so my German nan, there you go, and we'll make the banister go to there, like that. My German nan, she used to have this really cool little, it was brilliant. And it was a little house, and depending on what the weather was like, either the man would come out. If it was raining, the man would come out. If it was sunny, then the woman would come out. There were like two little doors. Tells you everything you need to know, really. Right, so let's say that this is let's have a look. If that's the banister at the front, and then that goes up to there, that'll probably do. Let's just get the banisters in. We can work the rest out afterwards. This looks like pretty wide, doesn't it? you think I've come out too far? Oh well. This is disabled access. this is a wheelchair friendly beach hut. It's a ramp, okay, and it's really wide. There you go. I told you we're very inclusive here, right? So now, come on. This is going to be quite wide, though, isn't it? That'll do. There you go, like that. And then that's the back at the back, like that. That will work. And then this is the actual railings. Going to go like that, aren't they? And then the steps are going to come down like so. That doesn't look so ridiculous now. It's like trapeze, trapezoid, or come on, Ken, help me out. What do you call these? These are trapezes, aren't they? Ken's a retired teacher. Go on, Ken. I'm sure you did maths at Fort Pitt. There you go. Look, there's the banister. There, look, I'm getting into it now. There's a banister. Do you remember when we started in the shack? Do you remember when we started in the shack? All we did was little birds on a wire. Look, this will bring back memories. Heart. Do you remember this? Look, if that doesn't give you, look, head, beak, tail. There you go. Look how far we've come, friends. Right, now let's get these radiators in. Let's get the railings in now. The struts. I don't know. I'm sure all the DIY merchants in the building now going there. They're called so and so's. Yeah, well, whatever. There you go. That's so they don't fall over. Have you seen the flooding in Maine? I know that we've got climate change, but I have never seen the flooding in Maine, in north of New York. It's where we were. Do you remember when in the summer, Dave and I and Grace, we went to Portland in Maine? Yeah, I couldn't believe the news when I looked at the water, because Dave and I, we went all. Do you remember I was telling you? Because all the towns have got English names like Manchester and Camden, and unbelievable the flooding, unbelievable in Portland. We were standing there taking photographs in September, and now it's yay high in water, gone. Shocking, shocking, shocking. Yeah, it was quite unbelievable, really. Right, so that'll do. And then let's have a look. So we've got little legs here as well. Should we make them a little bit beefier so it doesn't look like it's going to fall over? Right, that'll do. Can always come back to that bit. That's the base. So we'll get rid of the... How's your house looking? This reminds me of the new builds around here. One gust of wind and it'd be over. I mean, there's a lot to be said. I mean, we live in a 450-year-old house, Dave and I, right? So I'll say that again slowly. It stood standing for 450 years. I'm watching houses go up over the road here, right? They're not going to be standing in 450 years. They're made out of MDF. They're made out of cardboard, you know, and then they put a nice facade on them. But when you watch them going up, you know, it's like, where are the bricks? I don't know. And then you see the prices are eye-watering. Now let's have a look. We're going to come down here and we'll come round. We're going to get a bit of a graphic thing going here. There, that's going to look so good. And then we'll come up like that and we'll bring this one down. So it's a real funky curve on this. Yeah, the prices, okay. Where are we going now? Upwards of, well, these ones going up over the road are going to be between 850,000 and $1 million. There you go. I know. Oh, it's insane. And if the people buying them could see that what they look like when they're half built, you wouldn't put your money on them. You would not. Unbelievable. So yeah, we may live in an old house, but it reminds me of the Three Little Piglets. You know, I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down. My money's on the old houses. They don't build them like this anymore. Right, should we get the door in? Okay, so it's wheelchair friendly. It's quite a wide, it's quite a wide door. There you go. We'll pop that door in there. This is a cool one. In fact, this door, we'll even give it a frame. Because it's built to last. I'm not sure what we're doing with the steps yet, but like I said, this is a ramp. Remember, this is a ramp. You can decide yourself how you want to do that. Shall we get together on Monday as well? I would love to get together on Monday. Next Thursday, I can't do because I've got to go up to TV because I'm on telly on Friday. So I can't do next Thursday, the SHAC, and I can't do the following Monday either. Sorry, because Thursday I've got to go up to telly to do the Friday TV show. And then on Saturday, Dave and I are going to Frankfurt. We're going to Frankfurt to the big trade show, the Creative World show. And that's on Saturday. Well, we get there Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Tuesday we fly back. So no SHAC. We fly back on Tuesday. But back in the SHAC on Thursday for sure. Okay? So let's get together on Monday and get these beach huts going. The one I really want to show you is, apart from the watercolor, I want to show you how to get that effect. Doesn't that look good? See, to me, that looks like what you'd see in a magazine, doesn't it? It's a print. It looks like a proper print. And it's the papers. Trust me on this. But I'll show you on Monday how to get that effect, if that's okay. And also layering up the watercolor. Right, come on. I say we put a sign over the door, woo-ah, like that, but we won't put the writing in because as we flip it, we can't, if we put bliss, B for bliss, or B for whatever, right, you can't put that in because then you'll have to reverse it. Should we put a little peephole in the door? I say put a peephole this time. First one we put heart in, didn't we? That's rather nice. This one we put a little spy hole, and I think we'll even give this one a handle. Okay, and now we're going for a little skylight. Should we put what about a skylight that's that shape for a change? I would, if I were a builder. I could put that one in like that. All right. Now, I think we go on this one. We'll go that way with the boards. So this is the supporting structure. Okay, you need that one. Right, here we go. I'm really looking forward to welcoming Dean to the SHAC. I think he's in for a surprise with us lot, isn't he? Hey, I think so too. And oh, hang on, hold on. I've got to put the banister in, otherwise it will just all look. It's going to fall straight over. Right, at least let's put a couple of railings in, Barbara. Otherwise it's going to be like the houses over the road. The new builds. Honestly, I don't want to be. You wouldn't buy them. You would be shocked if you could see how they get built. And the ones up the road here, they're going up everywhere. It's a real thing at the moment in Sussex. You know, I don't know why they decided that this was it's like the lid came off, and they just decided to put as many houses as they can. And I'm all for, you know, I understand that we need more houses. We've got more people. I get it. I really do. But when you see the houses, now let's have a look. Should we leave it as a ramp? Should we leave it as a ramp? Yeah, come on, wheelchair friendly. There you go. If you wanted to make it into steps, then all you're going to do is put steps around these, don't you? Look, you could put steps in like that. There you are. See? It's easy. You could, I tell you what, we could even make them look like faux steps. There we are. Give us something to colour in. That looks quite nice. There. Okay? Yeah. There. All you've got to do is put another line in, and then suddenly you've got steps. And then this up here, we'll put the lines going this way, shall we? Nice, eh? Have you got arthritis? Do you know this finger hurts so much? I'm having to adapt how I do my artwork now. It's not good. I'm really having to think about how I do my artwork. Look at the state of that finger. It's just started suddenly going off at an angle. And I know many of you, you'll be watching and you'll say, well, aren't you the lucky one? You've got one finger that's headed south. I've got a whole body that's going in different directions. I know, but I make my living with these, and now I'm having to adapt, you know, and like potteries. I don't want to give up on the pottery, so I'm going to have to figure out, you know, I've got to change. Like when you're pulling, listen, when I'm pulling a pot, right, because I'm left-handed, this is the finger that I pull. This is the finger that I pull the clay up with. So I'm going to have to change. I've got to start changing. I've got to adapt. I can't, if I keep doing the same thing, I'm going to keep affecting the same finger. So now I've got to change. There's a challenge. I've got to change. It's either I change it or I give it up. And I cannot give up my pottery. That would be a travesty for me, you know. And also, I'm even having to change the way, for example, I prepare, like I do prep for demos on television. And I notice that if I put a whole day in and I'm preparing, right, the next day, this hand in particular, which is so weird because I'm a lefty, I'm left-handed, and yet it's my right hand that's really, really painful. So you think, why is that then? So I've got this awareness now of what I'm doing, you know. Jane says I've gone off. Have I gone off? Oh no. Have I gone off? Or have I come back on again? That'll be a shame. You mustn't give up your pottery. Jane, have I come back on again or have I actually gone off? I can see comments coming up, but the sound is frozen. Ah, okay. Well, I don't know what to say apart from I'm going to keep going then. And no, you're still here. Am I, Bev? I'm still here. We can see and hear you. Okay, good. I lost you for a minute, that's all. Yeah, well, you found me again, Jane. Thank you. I just kept going, oblivious. I can't remember what I said now. But anyway, it's nearly 8 o'clock. We've drawn our quirky. See, I know this looks weird. there's the floor, if you like. There's the land. See, then it comes down like that. It's good. It is good. Yeah, that's what I was saying, was that I'm having to actually even change the way I prepare for TV. And if you watch on telly and you think, gosh, she's not giving it her best like she used to, it's because I can't. Okay, so if my demos are a little bit more modest, or I'm pulling back a little bit, and maybe I'm going more to tricks and tips, it's because I can't. If I spend days preparing the work to do on the telly, by the time I get to the telly, I can barely drive there with this hand. So Paul does the driving, etc., etc. So I'm just adapting, same as this weekend, it's Sandown. I can't go and do a show. I couldn't do 4 days with these anymore. It's never going to happen. We're getting older, but the point is, I'm not whinging and I'm not complaining about it, but I have to adapt. You have to work with what you've got. And if you've got a wonky finger, you've got to work with a wonky finger. And I know there are going to be people, a lot of you completely get me. If it doesn't work, then think of another way, right? We're creative. Yeah. So on that really uplifting and positive note, I will love you and leave you. Okay. Now don't forget tomorrow, Deborah Wheeler, 1 o'clock, and that's right, 4 o'clock. Tune in, support her, buy the stamps. They're absolutely beautiful. Support us. What else? If you subscribe or follow this link, this Facebook or this YouTube, then you'll never have to look for us again. We'll come up in your feed, and then you know where to find us. Okay? So have a fabulous weekend. Don't forget Deb on telly tomorrow. And other than that, I shall see you bright and early, and we'll be doing our beach huts, and I'll bring in some butterflies as well, just to do, and by that time, the yellow will have dried, and we'll get the next layer on. Yeah? And yeah, the yellow's already dry. We could have done another layer, but that's okay. I want to go and eat some pasta with my husband now. All right. Go easy. Stay safe. And thank you so much for joining me. Lots of love. Bye-bye now. Oh, and don't forget, Pat Hoskins. Pat Hoskin, you're going to send me a card. You're going to make a card. And then we'll send them all to Pat. She'll be so chuffed. All right. Go easy. Bye-bye now.